Today I need to get underneath the tank to check out a few little bits and bobs. So I thought while I'm taking this tank off, I'm going to fit these nice new fuel line connectors. They are the quick release connectors. They're the plastic ones and not the metal ones because I thought I'll try the plastic ones first. And if these last, then great. If not, I'm going to go for the metal ones afterwards. But look how satisfying that is and easy. It just means that when I stick these on in future, it's just a case of taking the plastic cover off, removing the screw and the bolt, and then just disconnecting the clips with no fuel spillage anywhere like I've had in the past. So today I'm just going to crack on with it. We're going to remove the tank first and then fit the new lines. So in order to remove the tank, I've got to first remove the rear seat and then the front seat. This will give me access to the plastic panel that covers the screw and bolt that hold the tank on, the fuel pipes and the electric connector, and I remove it gently to make sure I don't snap off the lugs. Now I'm not quite sure why I've done it this way, but first of all I disconnect the electrical connector. I clamp up the two fuel lines to make sure there's no fuel spillage once they're disconnected. Then I remove the fuel line clips, remove the fuel lines themselves, and then move them out of the way so they don't get tangled in anything. There's a lot less fuel on the floor than last time, that's for sure. Last of all, I remove the tank mounting screw and bolt. And in all fairness, I should have done this earlier on, like first of all, but nobody died, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Then with some brute force and ignorance, I remove the tank. So these clamps have done a good job. They've obviously not allowed any fuel to spill on the floor, which is a much better result than what happened the first time I took the tank off the bike. So I'm really pleased with what's going on. The plan now is to make cuts to the pipes and fit the new quick release connectors. In order to fit the new connectors, I first needed to make a cut in each of the fuel lines. I use the whole connector as the measurement and then make a cut using the pliers. And with that done, I repeat the process on the second fuel line. There's now time to fit the new connectors to the fuel lines attached to the fuel tank before moving on and fitting them to the cut-offs that I'd made earlier. And with the connectors attached to the fuel lines, it was now time to attach the fuel lines to the injector lines. And even though you're not pulling the lines directly from the tank onto the injector pipes, it's still an annoying, fiddly process. Now after not too much labour at all, it's time to test fit the tank. Now you can see I'm twisting the female connector there, and that's just to allow access to the button that will quick release the connectors. I then fit the fuel tank just in a resting position so that I can get the fuel lines near where they need to be connected. As this is a test fit, I've not fitted any hose clamps to the fuel lines. The reason for that is if I make an error or if I need to do further work, then it's time consuming to then have to remove the clamps, which is a good job because that top left female connector should actually be connected to the top right hand pipe coming from the fuel tank, as it has a spring loaded element inside that is moved by the male connector. So when you remove the male connector from the female connector, it makes a seal stopping fuel coming out. So for me, those connectors are a big win. I've got to do a little bit of testing and adjusting to get them to the right size, because when you think about it, you've had that much length to both pipes and that could potentially cause rubbing and then cause an issue further down the line. So I'm going to trim them a bit further more and then get some proper clamps to hold them in place, ready for when I put the fuel tank back on. But for now, I can't put the fuel tank back on, so I'm going to do a bit of electrical chasing, try and chase a fault, try and figure out what's going on. I'm pretty convinced this is the USB connector in all fairness, because the bike is off, but the light is on. So that pretty much sells this story. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring the video to an end. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to put all the links, part numbers and everything down below in the description to help anybody that decides they want to do this to their bike. And obviously when you go looking for them, there's a metal version as well, which is the same part number. So all will be down in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you with another video soon.